Wesley Hunt, for a year, spent a year living in Robert E. Lee Barracks. Every single day that I walked beneath that threshold, I looked up and saw that name and thought to myself, damn, this is a great country.
You don't forget about where you're from. Don't paint us a picture. Don't tell us that we can't educate our kids on the opportunity. We're talking about vouchers. You're talking about things that's still going to cost more money.
Let them fight. Let them fight. No, let them get it out their system. Hi, my name is Reese Waters, and I'm troubled. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the page. They keep trying it. You remember what happened last time.
During Jim Crow, the black family was together.
That's right.
During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative, because black people always have been conservative-minded, but more black people voted conservatively.
How dare you make such an ignorant observation? You better check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Somehow, after all that, Byron Donalds tried it again. What? If at first you don't succeed, they say try again. But these days in 2024, you try again, you get arrested for stalking. So these are not the days that we grew up with Byron Donalds. Try again is not our ethos. This time he was joined by Wesley Hunt of Texas in the latest iteration of their Congress, Cognac and Cigars event aimed at bringing more black men into the GOP. The roughly 2-hour conversation was moderated by former ESPN host Sage Steele. And if anything says we gonna bring all the boys to the yard, it is former ESPN host Sage Steele. So that's who you brought in to bring black men into the GOP? Huh? That'd be like saying, you know what, for the black ladies, we got Jesse Lee Peterson. Hey! The only people that Sage Steele was bringing to the yard is white folks who want to touch black people's hair. Now, thankfully, unlike the black church, the cigar lounge was actually filled with a predominantly black audience, which means they got that smoke.
There was a vote about the representative, a local representative, that brought up an amendment to the defense bill to reinstate a Confederate monument that has a depiction of a mammy receiving a white baby from a Confederate soldier. Of the 4 people that voted to have that reinstalled, 3 of them, 2 of them on the stage, 3 of them are black Republicans, right? Of the 4 black Republicans, 3 of them voted to yay on that. That vote almost passed. Something like 206 to 192. I don't understand, from descendants of black slaves, why you think that isn't a principled position. So I think when we talk about to black men, it seems deceptive to come in here and talk about issues and then vote what seemingly isn't based on principle.
Just think about it. A mammy receiving a white baby, something that most black people would have a visceral reaction to, yet in this case, we can't even trust black people who have risen to legislature status to vote against something like that. We can't even trust them to act in our interests about something wildly racist. That is where we're at.
Robert E. Lee, the Confederate general that fought against the rights of people that looked like me. Wesley Hunt, for a year, spent a year living in Robert E. Lee Barracks. Every single day that I walked beneath that threshold, I looked up and saw that name and thought to myself, damn, this is a great country. Because only in America.
I got it. Let me finish that. Only in America could you get away with wearing those boots in front of a black audience. I need to know what's going on with the kids today, because I couldn't have got away with those in middle school. Now, grown folks are walking around like that and just parading them in front of black audiences. See, we don't joan the way we used to. We don't play the dozens. We don't do none of that, because that would have got rid of this. If he needs a black friend. He needs a black friend, because a black friend would have threw those in the trash and burnt the trash can.
Wesley Hunt, for a year, spent a year living in Robert E. Lee Barracks. Every single day that I walked beneath that threshold. I looked up and saw that name and thought to myself, damn, this is a great country. Because only in America do you have 3 black children matriculate through the premier leadership institution of the entire world and graduate from there and live in a barracks named after a Confederate general. Only in America. And if it were named anything differently, I wouldn't have that perspective.
So let me get this straight. You want to keep it because of the perspective you gain having to think about Robert E. Lee. So you want future generations to have to go through those same mental gymnastics seeing Robert E. Lee. Now here's a question. How do you think we got to the point where you could go to the barracks and be inundated with that? How do we get to the point of celebration that you had in your head as a black man to be able to see the statue and know that you had achieved something? You think we got to that point just by being like, hey, at least it's not as bad as it used to be? You think that was it? Huh? You don't think prior generations actually continued to push the bar forward, but you just found a convenient point where you just like, this feels all right to me. This feels good. I actually talked all about this and the problem with Black Conservatives piece, which I will point to. I'll put the link in the description. The idea that all of a sudden we've reached the racial finish line. We're good here.
Do you think I support the Confederacy?
Hell yeah, I think you support the Confederacy because I just listened to the words that came out of your mouth with those boots on.
Do you think I support the Confederacy? Don't kid yourself. Of course I don't. Excuse me?
Wow.
Of course I don't. See, this is what happened to you last time. This is what happened to you last time.
That's when you know he in trouble. That's when you know he in trouble, when he start bringing, hey, this what happened to you, Byron. Why don't you come on and help me?
Wow.
Of course I don't. See, this is what happened to you last time. This is what happened to you last time. I'm trying to have a nuanced conversation.
See, this is what you call fake smart. What is nuanced about what you just said? There's nothing nuanced about what you just said. You just said you wouldn't have had the revelation and appreciation and gratitude for how far we've come if it were not for the Robert E. Lee statue. However, you were only able to have that feeling of gratitude because of the work of black folks who paved the way for you, which you are refusing to do for future generations because you're comfortable. It's really not that nuanced. It's just lazy. Now, somebody needs to get them together. Huh? Oh, they did? Oh, I can always trust Atlanta.
You don't forget about where you're from. Don't paint the picture. Don't tell us that we can't educate our kids on the opportunity. We're talking about vouchers. You're talking about things that's still going to cost more money.
So the point I'm making is that I actually do understand.
You don't
I
understand.
totally
It's
recognize
obvious.
the value of
It's
that.
obvious.
And what I want to say is, at no point in time will I ever be a victim. That's why
Everybody
I'm sitting
has a
here right
story,
now.
is my point.
And I don't care what the name of
What
the
are you
statue
going to
was.
do?
And I don't care what the name of the building is.
What are you going to do?
I don't care what the name of the building is because
I'm a black
I
dad. This is a
am
conversation
not.
for black men, and all I hear is people that are non-black trying to hush me. I came here from my family.
I think
I came here
we
from
had
church.
we
But
had
I can't hear
security.
that, but I'm getting all the stories.
I need you to talk with respect. My goodness, this is not kindergarten.
Careful. Did you hear the pause before kindergarten? No. I don't think kindergarten was her first choice in her head, but then she realized that this was a black event, and she was like, oh, I can't say what I would have said in normal circumstances. I wonder what her first choice was. Magic City? Huh? This ain't Magic City. This ain't Lenox Mall. Huh? Don't y'all go acting. This ain't a Hawks game. She could have actually said this ain't a barbershop, but the barbershop was a whole nother GOP debacle. And in fact, I made a whole video about the whole barbershop situation with Rockies, also involving Byron Donalds. So make sure you check that out. The link is in the description. Now, Byron Donalds was just chilling, but you know it was no way Jim Crow wasn't coming up.
My piece of advice for you, I think Byron Donalds, is that you can talk about black families, talk about black families, talk about the black father, but when you intertwine Jim Crow in that, you're going to drive people away. So it's kind of like Bill Cosby. Have you seen that Cosby show where he said, you know, you can present steak and asparagus, but if you put it on the trash can lid, nobody's going to listen to you. So that's my piece of advice for you.
I know. I said the words Jim Crow, and if you listen to the media, they would say that I wanted it to come back like you would say Beetlejuice if you said Beetlejuice 3 times.
Byron, that's foul, man. That's foul, Byron. Because Lauren Boebert did nothing to deserve that. Lauren Boebert did nothing to deserve that. Here she is, minding her own business, somehow just won her primary, because evidently people still sleep or high in Colorado, and here you are calling her out in an Atlanta barbershop. That's wrong.
And if you listen to the media, they would say that I wanted it to come back like you would say Beetlejuice if you said Beetlejuice 3 times. And I'm not saying it to be funny. I'm saying it because that's literally what happened. In that meeting in Philadelphia, what happened was we were talking about black families. If you look at the empirical data, before Lyndon Johnson's Great Society, black marriage rates were significantly higher. Did I reference Jim Crow? Yeah, because that was the era of time. Do I want it to come back? No, I don't. And I think the most, and brother, I want to say this. Hold on, because it's important. Because again, if you want a talking point, that's one thing. If you want a detailed answer, that's another. Nobody wants Jim Crow to return. I don't want Jim Crow to return. That's insanity.
Say it again. Say it again.
You want me to repeat myself?
Repeat that again, please.
Nobody wants Jim Crow to return. But hold on, Wesley. Hold on, Wesley. My brother, hold on. Calm down, though. My man, chill. Can I answer the question? Go ahead. This is important. It's okay. Whoa. Both of y'all are talking. I'm trying to hear both of y'all. I'm trying to hear both of you. You want me to answer or you want to answer? You want to answer my question? Do you want to answer the question? Or you want me to answer the question? Because I'll answer the question. Hold on. Shh. This is important. The history of our country is very, very painful. It's very painful. But now if we refer to it, if now the point is that now it's going to insinuate that you want that back, that is what is destructive. But it's not different, brother. It's the truth. Do you want to, because let's talk, hold on. Do you want to talk about it or do you want to yell about it? Because I'll talk to you about it.
All right, I just let that whole thing breathe because I didn't want to jump in and stop him from stomping on Byron Donalds. I took my phone out and just videotaped the whole fight. It'd be like, normally I just say, it ain't worth it, brother. But all of a sudden, if the fight's going the way I wanted to, let them fight. No, let them get it out their system.
I understand the divisive nature of the words Jim Crow. I understand that. Okay, so I hear where you are coming from.
I do too.
What I do want you to hear us say is that we aren't speaking about Jim Crow in terms of going back. We are talking about it in terms of a period in history, and I'm not trying to be divisive in that way. So I hear that word, those two words, trigger a generation. When my parents hear they're still alive, it triggers a generation. I understand that. We agree. We understand that those times were horrible. Under no circumstances do we ever want to return to anything like that. But I do. No. I'll answer your question. What I want to recognize with what you said is something I will actually think about and use some deference with. And like I said, I don't like canceling words. I don't like that. I like telling it like it is. But I do understand how those two words, to a lot of people in this country, is a really bad visceral trigger.
So if I understand you correctly, what you are simultaneously telling me is that you understand the pain and the pushback that comes with bringing up Jim Crow, but you just lazily and facetiously threw it out there to describe an era of time. Is that what you're telling me? Something that could have just as easily been replaced with a decade or year, you decided to go with Jim Crow, knowing that it evoked pain in the black community. Make that make sense. That made sense to you in your head? That made sense to you in your head? The more you try and explain this, the worse it gets for you. I think the best thing that you can do for yourself is to go home and to not appear on camera again. At least until Donald Trump picks somebody else for VP, because I'm gonna need you to stand front and center for this dragon that I'm gonna give Byron Donalds for all the shuffling that he did for nothing. Donald Trump didn't put nothing in his hat.
Check it out. Dang.